23.
As you guys are keeping on the outskirts of the square, it's hard to make out the details, and the weathering has kind of muddled the figures that are hanging there. Percy and Vax, you guys notice the figure on the far left.
The body.
The body on the far left has a like a red paint smattered across its face and its arms. It's wearing a dirtied green vest-like robe that dangles below it as it hangs there loosely. Immediately to the left of it, you see what looks to be the body of a child. The child is dressed up in a purple-ish, billowing shirt, a very fine silk shirt and pantaloons, and is dangling there next to it. To the left of that, you see it appears to be a female, adorned in greens and browns. Looks like red paint has been driven through the hair and dangles to the left of that figure. Next to that, you see what appears to be...
I'm walking the fuck away.
You see what appears to be another woman dressed in dark blacks and browns, leathers, some furs across the top, dark hair, dangling. To the left of that, you see another man dressed similarly, dark grays and blacks, long dark hair, dangling. To the left of that, you see a rather large man, older, rotund, probably in his 40s, clothing padded but mostly open chest, hair completely shaved bald. Looks like there are dark scars are placed across the face, hanging. To the left of that, you see this figure is actually not humanoid. It appears to have been
Oh my god.
a recently hunted bear that is dangling.
No.
Wait,
what? Is that us?
It looks like us.
What?
It's us.
They killed people they thought were us. Or they killed...
Or it's a message.
Or it's a message to us.
Do they look like us, or are they just dressed like us? Are they made to look like us?
Do you want to get closer and look?
Yeah.
I'm a little curious.
Do you want to get closer? And
Is there
look?
is there
Are
any
you
is there
sure?
anything around the tree other than
They're
that? Is there
probably
anything at the
watching
base
the
of the
tree.
tree? Is there anything?
Not the briar.
From what you can see now,
they
nothing
are.
but just rocks and stones and piles of loose
We have
cloth
a
that
good
have just been rotting
plan.
below it. Approaching, it looks like each one of these bodies has been dressed up. It looks like the color in the redhead's hair has been smeared through with paint. The person who's been painted red has been slapdash. You gather with a moment of looking at it, these were not individuals that were caught this way. This was set up as a message.
Oh.
Keep walking, keep your head down, and keep walking.
Laudna. I'm gonna keep looking around.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it like in Whitestone? Because I don't know a ton, but what I do know sounds hard.
It was pretty rough. I was a bit naive, too. The real Whitestone. Was living a simple life. Just kind of assumed that that's how all cities were. A little terrified. But everyone just tries to suck it up and go along, right?
Any good memories, or was it?
Oh, sure. I had a lovely childhood. Lived on the outskirts, on farmland. You know, my days were spent running in the forests and digging up worms, and running around bare feet.
This is long before them, right?
They came in sometime in my youth. And yes, things slowly started to change. It wasn't an overnight shift. Political coups were so out of my family's purview. We were also ignorant, I guess. Try not to concern yourselves with the problems of people who make a lot more money than you.
It's a long time ago. This might be too forward, but do you remember much about the end?
Like the end, the end? There are some blank spots, yes. But I remember quite a lot, for better or for worse, I guess. My parents thought that getting an invitation to the palace, to the castle, to meet the Lord and Lady Briarwood was a great boon. We were promised a wonderful feast and an amazing party, and we were told we were going to be serving a greater purpose for Whitestone.
Like a shock of lightning in your head, you make the connection. You heard the terrible tale of what happened.
I want to throw something at her.
You know what's interesting about you?
I would hope a great deal of many things.
Well, there's the obvious. But you're the happiest person in this bunch.
Of course. The worst thing that's ever happened to me has already happened.
What the fuck is it?
I remember being tossed clothes to wear, told to change, be served a wonderful dinner, which we were. It was actually quite fantastic. It was like a filet, a little surf and turf, had some lobsters. And then that was it. They dragged me away, separated me from my parents, was brutally beaten, and then it's a little fuzzy after that, but next thing I remember was waking up being hung from a tree. It was the sun tree, actually. It was quite a spectacle.
Yeah, I gathered. I'm so sorry.
It was a long time ago.
Respectfully. So fucking what?
I've had plenty of great things happen to me since then. Honestly, it doesn't even feel like it was me. Different life, you know, as they say.
Well. Sorry. It's really cold out, but I'm feeling kind of hot.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Don't you pay no mind to me or my past. Focus your brain forward. It's not worth being sad about what can't be changed.
Well, I know that to be true.
You see this? You see my ears?
Yeah.
I take little gold cuffs, little pointed-eared gold cuffs off. Wear these to hide it, because people get all gagged out about it. But they cut my ears to make them pointy. To further match whatever warning signal that I was.
You seem okay, but, and, Orm will stand up and hug her crouching, semi-living form.
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck is up with that?
Laudna and her relationship to the Briarwoods. It was something that Matt and I had to talk a lot about to make sure that, we weren't going to break canon or Briarwoods physics or whatever.
Well, you brought it up to me. You were like, could you maybe do this?
Yeah.
I was like, let's talk about this.
What came first, the character or the connection?
So, full on, this is gonna sound crazy, but I had a nightmare one night. And it was the flower girl, vision that I made when we were breaking into the moon tower. And it did the flower girl without the jaw that rushed.
Yeah.
That was a dream that I had where I couldn't find Matt and I couldn't find Omar, and I ran out in front of our house and I looked down the street and there was that flower girl.
No, that's cool. That's
standing
fine.
at the end of the road.
Are you sure it was a dream?
And she
Just saying.
No. Especially when it's misty out there. You know?
And then she rushed me and then I woke up. And it was one of those dreams where it literally knocked me out of sleep, and I woke up and I was like, "Gah! I want to be spooky for campaign 3." And it kind of came from that, and I was like, there for a while. I was like, "Oh, do I play a little girl she's much more mature now, but she died when she was young in Whitestone in the Briarwood incursion," and I was like, "Nah, that could get weird. I'm gonna make her grown up," and then just through talking about it, it was like, what if she was on the tree and she was the Vex double?
Damn.
Yeah, well, I think it was, and then from that point you decided you wanted to go with multi-class warlock sorcerer.
Yeah.
And it was like, what your patron? What kind of patron do you want? You're like, well, what if it was Delilah? And then it was like, cool. Let's work on this. Let's workshop it a bit and see what we can do.
Even work. Well, I mean, we're not going to get that part of it though for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know.
You don't even know?
Just the story that I wrote was that when Delilah did her big ziggurat blast, that and essentially justifying it that because Laudna already had magic abilities. That's where her sorceress, she was naturally innate with magic abilities. So she wanted to try and learn and get better, and then that's how she got lured to the castle by the Briarwoods.
Oh my God.
And she thought oh cool, maybe I'm gonna get a tutor. But nah, she was just there because she was naive and vulnerable and
looked a little bit like one of the people
looked a little like this woman that never crossed Laudna's path. And yeah, when Delilah did her big necromantic blast, that whatever kind of innate magic was still in Laudna just kind of took hold and kind of took that spark from Lady Briarwood, and that's kind of all I know. So, and now she talks in my head sometimes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Lord and lady, the dinner guests you requested.
Ah, splendid. Welcome, friends. Supper first, then you'll need to change into more formal attire.
Oh, goodness. Excuse me, did we win a prize?
Yes, little one. You've been chosen for a very special event.
Percy, you okay?
That's when we knew Matt wasn't fucking
And this
around.
damn creaking.
Also, the creaking.
Yeah, it's a really brilliant.
Actual chills.
Way to hold it.
Yeah. And that's what I love about the show is like you guys. There's so much like great stuff already there, and it's like, well, how do we take that great stuff and just really maximize like. Really make the audience feel like take them for a roller coaster ride, right?
And I mean, you are Vox Machina in this moment. You're just standing in the silence, letting the truth sink in, and you're hearing that. It's an unbelievable choice.
It reminded me of like the end of Black Mirror episodes where it's just a black screen, so you see your jaw dropping in the screen in front of you. That was very this moment of you're just realizing like, oh, those are dead. Those are villagers that they hung.
And the little details like the antlers being nailed in too.
Yeah, character team really nailed that one.
Or the fact that there were 2 gnomes in the party, so they took 2 children.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not cool, Briarwoods.
Dude, I'm like, it's artistically.
I remember like in the game as he was describing each person on the tree and all of us slowly coming to the realization of what it was.
Oh.
And it's, ugh.
Can I talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, no, please.
Before I worked on, I wasn't a critter. I didn't really know much about this world and these characters. And even as the show started, like, I started learning more about it, but I actually hesitated from going and watching things because I kind of wanted to have a fresh take on these stories that you guys are recreating, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know the context of how heavy that moment was from the campaign until now when I'm seeing all the fans like talk about it and show like side-by-side comparison videos.
Really.
So I'm getting like a double hit like, oh shit. I was like,
But like for not having watched it, like you nailed it.
I mean, yeah, I mean like the board team and I, we just wanted like to tell a very impactful story, which that was our main priority. But yeah, like the context of it, I'm getting like a reverse.
It was the moment in that game where everything changed.
Yeah.
Everything changed then.
It was.
Nothing was safe anymore.
And they were never happy again. But if for people out there who hadn't seen Campaign 1, can you compare your reactions in the moment at the table to your reactions first watching this animated?
I mean, it's purely horrifying. It was wonderful. I don't.
Yeah.
It was wonderfully horrifying.
Yeah, I remember going home that night after the game and like thinking about the visual of it, thinking about that moment, like as I was trying to go to sleep at night, and then getting to see it, you know, in motion, just kind of brought back all of the horror of the realization.
I think for the audience, you know, it's very obvious from the get-go that this is not a show for kids, but it's the most extreme moment in the show where the audience is going, this is not what I signed up for. I didn't understand that they were going to go to places like this. You know, even beyond our horror movie aspects of episode 4, it's just, I mean, it's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Well, and even in the original game, it was such a good prelude, so that to kind of like put it out there of like, are you okay? You can get off the ride still. This is kind of what's ahead. It was a very good sign of the darkness to come.
Oh, we were all fascinated.